Hello, good morning students of class 12 commerce. Welcome to Pandas's virtual class on macroeconomics, and today we are going to start a new chapter that is title is excess and deficient demand. And in this chapter, of course, we have already discussed these two diagrams and the implication of excess demand and deficient demand in an economy. But today we are going to have a specific discussion on a situation of excess demand and situation of deficient demand in the economy, and what are the exact causes of excess and deficient demand in the first one, and next what is the impact on the economy of excess demand and deficient demand. So three things. First, we will understand the diagram that represents excess demand and deficient demand. Secondly, we will be discussing about the causes of excess demand and deficient demand. Then we will discuss about the impact or the effect of excess and deficient demand in an economy. So, since long we are clear of the concept that economy should thrive. The economy, that means the planner should make their planning in such a way that the economy is operating at full employment equilibrium. And at the same time, we know it that it's a very ideal thing, but in practice, what we observe is that we find always the economy either in a state of deficient demand or in a state of excess demand. Hardly it attains full employment equilibrium. And no situation is permanent in the economy, because modern day economics is a dynamic subject. Dynamic subject means it's ever changing. So we cannot expect of a static situation like full employment equilibrium. And all the things, that is full employment equilibrium, excess demand and deficient demand, all are highly temporary in nature, and the economy always shifts from one to the other and to the other. So first come to the situation of excess demand, its causes and its impact in the economy. So as it is evident from the diagram that the aggregate supply curve 45-degree line and the actual demand curve, the actual aggregate demand in the economy is AD, and it is intersecting with aggregate supply curve at point E, which is the point of equilibrium. Hence OM is the equilibrium level of employment, output and income. But the actual demand is AD1, the desired demand is AD, the desired demand curve is AD, but what we see is that the actual demand is far more than the desired demand. Hence it is represented by another curve AD1. It shows us the actual demand in the economy, and the actual demand curve AD1 intersects with aggregate supply curve at point E1, shifting the equilibrium point from E to E1. And as a result, what we find is that the employment, the equilibrium level of employment, output and income rises from OM to OM1. So this is the diagrammatic representation of excess demand. Now come to the points that explains us what are the exact causes of a rise in aggregate demand. So obviously in the economy, if aggregate demand is rising, that means people are having more purchasing power. The circulation of money supply has increased, and that has risen the purchasing power of people. That's why the demand has increased. But because earlier the point of equilibrium has been already attained, and equilibrium point is attained, what does it mean? I am repeating the same thing once again, that we have already attained equilibrium means all the productive resources of our economy has been utilized fully and efficiently. That means there is no scope of increasing supply in the economy. So, very natural consequence comes, if supply is not possible to increase and demand rises, then what would be its impact on general price level or prices of different goods and services? Demand increased, but supply cannot be increased. So obviously the prices will increase. So what are the causes of excess demand in the economy? Increase in consumption and investment expenditure. The household sector has increased the volume of consumption in the economy. That represents increase in consumption expenditure by household sector, and to meet their demand, the investment sector, means the producer sector, has also increased the level of investment in the economy. So the second point is increase in government expenditure and export. So now you tell me, the more, that is the supply, when the producer is producing more, and that much cannot be sold in the economy. So obviously it is an export oriented economy, and the level of export and government expenditure has also risen in the economy. So the causes of a situation of excess demand in the economy are increase in consumption expenditure by household sector, increase in investment expenditure by producer sector, increase in government expenditure, and increase in export. So all these four reasons contributes to a situation of excess demand in the economy. And now come to how this situation is going to affect the economy. And we will discuss in elaboration the impact of a situation of excess demand on the level of employment, on the level of output, and on the level of prices in the economy. So first, employment. When production is more, when demand is more, obviously the level of employment has risen in the economy. And because the level of employment has risen, then the resources are earning more than what they used to earn, and that has resulted in an increase in the aggregate demand level. And obviously because investment expenditure has risen, the level of output has also risen. Because export has risen, the level of output has also risen. But because already previously the economy has attained a full employment equilibrium level, the supply cannot be increased further, and that affects the price very positively. That means due to an increased demand, then the desired demand is OM, but the actual demand is OM1. Supply being constant, when a situation doesn't allow us to increase the supply, then obviously it will affect and it will result in a rise in prices of goods and services in the economy. So thus, in order to conclude, in a situation of excess demand, the consumption expenditure, investment expenditure, government expenditure, and level of export rises in the economy, and as a result, the level of employment rises, the level of output or general production rises, and prices also rises in the economy. So this is the case of excess demand in the economy. Now come to the situation of deficient demand in the economy. Deficient demand means the actual demand is far less than the desired level of demand, as it is evident from the diagram. You can see AS being the supply curve, aggregate supply curve, and the desired demand is AD. AD curve represents the desired level of demand, and because AD is intersecting with the aggregate supply curve at point E, that represents OM level of income, employment, and output. thus the equilibrium level of income, employment and output in the economy is OM. But unfortunately, the actual demand is far less than the desired level of demand. The actual demand curve is represented by the demand curve AD1, and AD1 intersects with the aggregate supply curve at point E1, and as a result the equilibrium point shifts from point E to point E1, and the result can be seen here. The equilibrium level of employment, output and income falls from OM to OM1 and creating a deflationary gap. See, between my two fingers, this gap represents the deflationary gap, whereas here this gap represents the inflationary gap. So always remember we find the deflationary or inflationary gap from the actual point of equilibrium, not from the desired point of equilibrium, that is E, not from the actual point of equilibrium, that is E1. So this is the diagrammatic representation of deficient demand, situation of deficient demand in the economy, and let us discuss its causes and its effect. Just sharpen your mind, and if you get clear idea about this topic, just the opposite happens here. Here what happened? There was a rise in the level of consumption expenditure, government expenditure, investment expenditure and export. Here it will be a fall in general level of consumption expenditure, investment expenditure, government expenditure and the level of export. And how it is going to affect the economy? The impact would be the level of employment would fall, the level of output would fall, and prices of different goods and services would fall because supply is more than the actual demand. So thus these are the diagrammatic representation of excess and deficient demand, their causes and their effects, and in our next class we will be discussing how the planners or the government of India can manage both the situations, because both situations are not desirable in the economy. So in order to achieve full employment equilibrium, the planners must fight with the situation of excess demand and deficient demand. So what are the instruments and tools available with the government? That means what, according to the monetary policy, what measures the government can take to handle with deficient and excess demand, and what are the fiscal policies, means budgetary policy at the hand of government in order to take the situation of excess and deficient demand. So this much for today. Tomorrow we will be discussing the government measures of solving the problem of excess and deficient demand. Thank you and have a nice day.